G'day guys, before we hop into today's vlog, I just want to remind you to hit that subscribe button. From now on, I'm going to be putting out Day-Leigh vlogs every single day. I'm going to be tracking my process, playing these 1-2-6 max games, hopefully moving up in stakes. But even if I don't, you'll get to watch me fall on my face every single day on this YouTube channel. So make sure you hit subscribe so you get the new videos as they come out every single day. For now, onto the vlog. G'day everyone, welcome back to the vlog. It is currently about 4:30 AM here in Melbourne. Didn't sleep the best last night, so I've woken up pretty early, as you can tell. My sleep schedule is a bit all over the place at the moment. I woke up at like 8 yesterday, I woke up at 4 today. Not quite sure what to make of that. When I just didn't sleep in today, I was sort of like, let's just get straight into the poker as soon as we can. Try and get as much volume in as we can, maybe to make up for yesterday when I didn't. Gonna hop in, get a feed now, and then we'll get into the poker. Let's go. It's about 5:20 in the morning here in Melbourne. I've just grabbed my feed, had mince beef today instead of eggs and bacon, and it was pretty tasty actually, despite how it looked. So I'm feeling good, feeling ready to go grind a session of online poker today. The goal is going to be to play 1,500 hands today. The fact that I did wake up so early, I do think I will not have an issue getting the volume in. In terms of my gameplay, obviously always looking to try and reach that A grade level, but I think I will be a bit lenient with myself today. And even if I do play like a B or a B plus game, I would be somewhat satisfied with those results, considering I'm feeling good now, but I probably will fatigue towards the later parts of the day on such little sleep. As always, going to focus on my opponent's strategies, optimal ways to exploit it. The thing I'm focusing most on right now will be 4-bet bluffing. Like I said, the past 2 days, I've not seen anyone get all in pre-flop for 100 big blinds with a hand that wasn't kings or aces. So definitely looking to mix in the 4-bet bluff. And I do have an ace blocker or a king blocker, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep applying the aggression until I see someone call down with a hand like queens or jacks or ace king. Until I see someone get those hands in pre-flop, I'm going to keep running the bluffs. Let's see how it goes for me today, and let's get in the game. Welcome back everyone. It is currently 4 PM here in Melbourne, and I've just wrapped up my third poker session for the day. Ended up playing a total of 6 hours and 12 minutes today for a grand total of 1,547 hands. So we do actually beat the daily goal of 1,500 for today. Happy that I did, considering that I didn't quite do so yesterday. For today's results, I ended up making 492 across all of the sessions combined, so obviously nice to book a win. In terms of my gameplay grade, however, also pretty happy with that. I did give myself an A for today's session. I stuck to my plan. I did keep mixing in the 4-bet bluffs, and yet again did not get called by a hand that wasn't aces or kings pre-flop. I feel like I probably did it like 6 to 10 times, something like that. And yeah, I did get stacked once when someone had aces, but other than that, it worked every time. So clearly this strategy is working out for me, and I'm going to keep going until someone shows me a hand that's queens or worse. In addition to keeping the pre-flop aggression up, I actually did take more passive lines post-flop, which I think is important to do just because people, they're not 4-betting hands like queens and jacks, which means their post-flop range is actually pretty tight and it does have stronger hands in it. So I do think it's important to not value own myself. Betting 3 streets with a hand like top pair, it can be good in certain situations, but against a lot of opponents who are playing tighter, it's probably better to play it a bit more cautiously. And I really did tune in and make that observation and execute that strategy today. So overall, I'm very happy that I did focus in on my opponent's strategies and exploit them optimally, which is always the goal. So absolutely went through with that today and had good results as a result of that. Obviously, I was pretty happy with today's results. Today's hand history though, I think it's one of the hands from today that I wasn't quite as sure with, and I'd be super curious to hear your guys' opinion on how I played this next one. So the action's on me in the cutoff and I have pocket queens. I go ahead and raise it up to 5. Then I get a call from an unknown button as well as an unknown small blind. So then we go 3 ways to a flop of 10-7 deuce with 2 spades. And then things get kind of interesting because small blind actually decides to lead out for 8.5. And when they do, the action's on me, and I already think this is a really interesting decision with what to do on the flop. Obviously, I'm not folding my queens, but between raising and calling, I see a lot of good reasons to do both. The reasons I would potentially consider raising are obviously for value. If my opponent has a hand like ace-10, king-10, nut flush draw, a straight draw, they're probably going to call a raise. Then obviously we do get value with our hand. But the reasons I would potentially consider calling are I'm not really looking to inflate the pot too much when I might potentially fold out a 10 with a raise and then only get called by like flush hands and just sets. Sets won't even 3-bet me. If I do get 3-bet in this spot, it's pretty gross. And obviously I don't mind if I just call here and then the button is getting a good price to float with a worse hand than pocket queens. Obviously that's great for me as well. So I do see a lot of merit to both. In the game, I decide to call. In retrospect though, I think I slightly prefer raising in this spot, and if I had the decision back, I'll probably change my action. In game I called though, and then the button does call as well. So we're still 3 ways to a turn. The turn is the 8 of clubs, and the small blind keeps betting. They go ahead and make it 28.33. Then the action's on me, and I think my decision on this street is a bit more straightforward. I decide to call. I don't think I like raising on this card because even though there are a few draws we can get value from, I actually think I'm a bit more concerned that we are behind on this street. Obviously I lose to 8-7 now, 10-7, and I think it's somewhat possible the button actually does have Jack-9. I'd be a bit more surprised if the small blind did, but that's possible as well. So there are a few things I lose to, so not really looking to inflate the pot with one pair here, but obviously can't fold either. The small blind could be betting ace-10, king-10 for value, so not looking to slow down. I do throw in the call, and then the button folds, which I was actually pretty relieved with, to be honest. So we are heads up to the river, which is the Jack of Hearts. It's actually pretty interesting because now I lose to any 9. This doesn't slow the small blind down though. They go ahead and bet 49.58. So with queens, it's a pretty interesting spot. In terms of my 3 options, I think calling is probably the worst one. I think it's going to be really hard for me to be good in this river. Not only do I lose to any 9, I also lose to Jack-10 now. And also if my opponent did bet a hand like ace-10 on the previous 2 streets, I really think they're going to slow down on this river in particular. I don't like calling. I think that's the worst option. I now have to decide between bluff raising or just folding. The reasons I would potentially consider bluff raising here are, I think it's very likely my opponent is going for thin value with either a set or Jack-10. Obviously those cards are going to be scared when they lose to any 9 now, so we could look to blast them off one of those hands. Additionally, we do double block Queen-9, which is the absolute nuts. So that's something else to consider. Having said all that though, I do prefer folding in this spot, and here's the reason why. I think it's going to be pretty hard for me to credibly represent a 9. The only 9s in my range really are 10-9 suited and ace-9 spades. If I'm trying to represent such a narrow range, I actually think it's going to be pretty easy for my opponent to sniff that out, and then they're just going to call off with their 2 pair or sets. So for that reason, I actually do prefer folding. Additionally, I said we block Queen-9, but I don't have Queen-9 in my range. My opponent might have Queen-9 of spades. I don't have the Queen of spades, so I don't even really block that hand that's the actual nuts. So with all that considered, I think folding is my best option. I follow through. I was on my A game today. I chose the option that I think was best on the river at least. I do fold. A little while after the hand was over, I did look back at the hand history on ignition, and I actually saw what my opponent had, and they had ace-9 of spades. So, whew, absolutely stoked I didn't try to bluff raise them there. I'm happy with that fold from a results point of view and from a strategy point of view. I'm very interested to hear what all of you think about my flop decision on there, so hop in the comments below, let me know what you think about my flop decision. Obviously, my opponent did have the nut flush draw, and that is a hand we can get value from by raising, but overall, what do you think about in spots like this with overpairs? Do you like raising it up for value, or do you like playing it more conservative, just calling in a multi-way pot in particular? Curious to hear what you guys think. I actually think it's a pretty interesting decision that doesn't come off that often in poker. hop down in the comments below, let me know what you think. That's going to wrap up another vlog for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate you sticking all the way to the end of the video. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow so much. And thank you to everyone who has already hit the subscribe button. You guys rock. Thank you so much. I'm out of here for now. Peace.